Today we're going to talk about plosives, and an important aspect of having good audio is avoid the plosives. You say, Dennis, what in the world is a plosive? Well, let me give you an example.
The Apostle Paul preached to the Apostle Peter. Peter Piper picked pickled peppers, and if he did pick those pickled peppers, exactly how many pickled peppers did Peter Piper pick?
So plosives are essentially what you get when you are breathing right into the microphone and it's picking up the pa, 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 sometimes the B sounds as well, and you're getting air on that mic and it just doesn't sound good. Now, when I first started out doing some serious recording years ago, I was recording into this microphone, which is a condenser mic. I think it's an MXL. And I didn't know anything about avoiding plosives, and so I would have the mic right up against my mouth or close to it, not exactly against it, but very close, and speaking directly into the mic. To me, that made sense. You want the best audio, you speak right straight into the mic. And it took me a while to realize I was getting a lot of plosives, and eventually I ended up redoing a number of those videos and changing my mic placement to avoid the plosives. Now, I have to say that it's almost funny to me when people that review mics, and I watch a lot of YouTube videos from audio guys who like to review the latest, greatest mics that have come out. But oftentimes when they review mics, they will spend a lot of time talking about how good does this mic do with plosives. And I think it's almost funny because the reality is any mic is going to be bad with plosives if you've got it right up against your mouth or close and you're speaking directly into it, because the breaths of air are hitting that mic and you're going to get extra sounds you don't want. The reason it's kind of funny that people would spend so much time talking about plosives is it's such an easily fixable problem. But before we get to the fix of the problem, let's just look at a few YouTubers that can demonstrate good and bad mic technique to either fix plosives or make them worse. We'll start with Megyn Kelly, who is a political commentator. If you look at this picture, you see the mic is well under her mouth. She's using the famous Shure SM7B, and she's talking right over the mic. And when you're talking over the mic, all the breaths of air are not hitting that mic. No plosives. Here's another way she sometimes uses her mic, which is not only is the mic underneath her, but it's to the side a bit and angled at her mouth. That's even more powerful in fixing plosives. There's just no way with either one of these that Megyn Kelly is going to have plosives in her audio. Here's another guy, Ray Ortega. He's reviewing a microphone. And if you notice, the mic is well underneath him and it is angled slightly. Again, there's not going to be a problem. This picture here is Tom Buck. He also reviews audio products and microphones. He's reviewing the NT1 by Rode, and notice the mic is to the side. And that's not going to create hardly any plosives when the mic is that way. Now, here's some poor mic technique or mic placement. Joe Rogan. I don't watch Joe Rogan. All his vulgar language turns me off. But notice how close that SM7B is to his mouth. It's just way too close. And he's probably getting plosives. I didn't watch enough of this video to know, but that's not the best. Now, I will grant you the Shure SM7B is better at avoiding plosives than a lot of other mics because the mic capsule is recessed quite a bit. So when you're looking at the end of the mic, you're not really seeing where the mic begins. The capsule is well underneath that. It's about a third of the way. So it helps, but you still won't reduce plosives altogether when your mic is up that close. Here is another guy, and he's doing the exact wrong thing. He has the Shure SM7B, looks like, but he's right there in front of the mic. The mic is aimed at his lips, just an inch or two away. And I listened to some of what he had to say, and there were plosives all over the place. Pop, pop, pop. Every time he spoke a P, you would hear this popping sound. So this is the exact wrong way to do a mic. Joe Rogan wasn't much better. Here's a guy that surprised me, Curtis Judd. I've watched a lot of his videos. He really knows a lot about audio. But in this case, he was reviewing a mic, and his positioning of the mic wasn't good. You're going to get plosives when the mic is A, that close to your lips, and B, it's not angled at all. It's just directly in front of you. Now, you may say, yeah, but what about the singers? And here's an example of a singer, Melissa Doolittle, I think is her name. And she's eating what people call eating the mic. I mean, she's got that mic right up where it's practically touching her lips. And you say, singers seem to get by with it. And the answer is, yeah, a lot of times they can, because they have special mics that are designed for someone to just eat that mic and have it right up against their lips. And so, yeah, you can get by with it if you have a several $1,000 mic that is specifically designed to avoid that. But for the type of mics that YouTubers will usually purchase and use, you just can't get away with that. Even the famous SM7B, you just cannot get away with that altogether. So I've kind of given a hint about what you do about it. There's really about 3 things you can do that'll fix plosives altogether. Number 1, you don't want the mic at face height. You want it lower, and you can kind of point it up to you. That'll help. Number 2, you don't want it directly in front of you. You want it about at a 45-degree angle. And number 3, you can put a pop filter over it. And between having the mic a bit lower, having it a 45-degree angle to the side, and having a pop filter over it, and all the air is going right past it. It's not hitting. If I was doing this, yeah, you'd have plosives. But doing this, no chance for plosives. And when I sit at this table normally for my Beat Diabetes channel, notice where the mic is. It's somewhere around here. And it's at about a 45-degree angle, maybe not exactly. But all my breath is going past the mic. So there's no problem. There's no popping sounds with this kind of mic placement. Another thing that I find kind of funny is that some people say, well, if you've got a guest on that doesn't know much about mic placement, you'd be better off to use a certain kind of a mic that doesn't get plosives. Well, they all do, first of all. And secondly, the idea that you've got to take a long time to explain mic placement to somebody who doesn't know any better is ridiculous. You can just, if they got their mic this way, you say, no, you want it a little bit to the side, you want it a little bit down, put a pop filter over it, boom, you're in good shape. It takes about a minute or less to teach someone about mic placement. So it's a real simple fix. And there's no reason for people to be popping their peas all over the place. It just doesn't have to be. But if you don't know any better and you're just starting out, you don't even think about what we call plosives. So get that mic at an angle, lower it a little bit, put on a pop filter of some kind, a foam filter, and boom, you're ready to go. You will not have to worry about plosives.
If this video has been a blessing to you, there's a very simple way to show your appreciation. How about giving it a like and maybe sharing it with somebody else? YouTube will notice this and they'll promote it to others.